using the Nars brand. I'm so excited. Now, I don't have an entire full face, but I would say I probably have 90%. I have like the main products, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a highlighter, I don't have the brow products, I don't have an eyeliner, and I don't have a lip liner, but everything else is Nars. So I'm really, really excited to go ahead and play around with all Nars products. Now, this palette just launched at Sephora and I bought it that night. I was so excited. This is the Ignited palette and they just launched this as their holiday palette. It's super pretty. This is actually the first time I've ever played with a Nars eyeshadow palette, so I'm really excited to play around with it. But we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. I'm just gonna stop talking. I'm not gonna have this crazy long intro. You guys know why you're here. You've seen the thumbnail. You've seen the title of the video. We're playing with all Nars products today. I'm really excited about it. So without further ado, let's jump right into the video. Here, I don't have everything, like every single full face, but I probably have like 90%. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm really excited and I really like these full face videos. They're kind of fun, like full face of brands. So the first item that I have here is the Pore and Shine Control Primer. Now, I have already added my Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base all over my face because I really need that moisture. But I thought about maybe trying this right here in the center of my face, basically where I get the shine, I guess. I don't really have an oil shine problem. Kind of dries to like a powdery finish. So I kind of like that primer. It feels pretty good. But primers though, you got to keep using them to see if they really work. Like you can't use a primer one time and say, oh, it works, because that's just pretty unrealistic. I am going to add a tiny bit of my Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless filter. And I'm just going to put a few stripes of this on my face because I just love how highlighted it makes my face look. Really want that highlighted look underneath. And this just evens out my skin tone. Like, I love this product. I know you guys hear me talk about it all the time, but I just can't stop using it. It's just my favorite face product ever. And you can rub it in with your hands. I just rub it in with the same brush every day. I just have a designated brush that I use to work that out. Next, I'm going to use the Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation from Nars. So it's a full coverage natural finish foundation, and it's been a minute since I've used this foundation. I would say it's been several months, but I did review it and I remember really, really liking it. So I'm excited to pull it out. Now I have it in the shade Stromboli, which is medium 3 for medium skin with olive undertones. So I have some down here on the tray. I'm going to use a brush. This is just the Morphe Y6, and I'm not grabbing it for any particular reason other than the rest of my makeup brushes are pretty dang dirty. I really need to clean my brushes this weekend. So I'm just going to start putting this on. It's a natural finish, but I remember it blends out almost like a powdery finish. So it does have that like powdery type finish to it. But as you can see, it's pretty full coverage and it looks really good. I just haven't used this foundation in a minute. It's kind of fun. Like, I've used the Sheer Glow. The other day I used it and I didn't like it. But this one, I can already tell right away that I'm gonna like the finish of this. Even though it's full coverage, it still is really natural. I'm gonna wipe off my lips. I always see those YouTubers where they leave their lips with that crusty foundation throughout the entire video, and I can't do it, you guys. I can't. It like freaks me out when I look in the monitor and the mirror and I don't see my, because I don't have very big lips anyways. Like, my lips are really teeny, so I have to see my lips. I don't know. It's so funny, but I see everybody else, you know, they'll leave that crusty foundation on the entire video. And it doesn't bother me to watch them do it, but it sure bothers me to actually do it. Brows are on. They're not my best, but I don't want to sit here and keep doing them, so they're just going to be what they are. I had a tube of the Nars Creamy Concealer. This one right here, the Radiant Creamy Concealer. I never used it that much, and then it started kind of getting dried out, so I threw it away. But it's been a couple of years since I've used this concealer, so I don't know how I feel about it. I went ahead and bought the mini size because I thought, well, I'll try the mini size. Because I know I'm so picky with concealers, I didn't want to buy something that I didn't know that I would really like. This is in the shade Medium 1 Custard. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw some of this under my eyes, and I'll probably bring it up around here to use as eyelid primer. Now, do you guys have this concealer, and how do you feel about it? Like, do you like this concealer? I'm just curious about it. This is blending out nicely. It's a little bit light, but it seems like everybody loves this concealer, so I'm just curious about it. Now, it's definitely not very creamy, and it dries pretty quick, but so far, that looks pretty good. I am kind of impressed with it. It's definitely, I would probably buy the medium 2 because I do think it's too light, this shade is, but I like this. So far, I don't mind this concealer at all. I don't know that it likes a brush, but man, when you smooth it out with this sponge, it looks amazing. I like that concealer. I'm really impressed with it. I'm gonna see how this wears throughout the day, and I will put it at the bottom when I'm editing this video and let you guys know how it looked. But if I like it and it looks pretty decent throughout the day, I might buy my right shade in the bigger bottle because this is really, really good so far. Many of you guys know I don't set my concealer, so I'm gonna leave it there. As far as my bronzer and my blush, I have these two in the sample sizes. This bronzer is in the shade Laguna, and it's a nice like matte brown shade. And then I also have the blush in Orgasm, and this is one of my favorite blush shades. It's a pink shade, but it also has a peach base to it and like a peach shine. So I really like the shade Orgasm. So for the bronzer, I'm going to take my Morphe E41 brush. It's this big fat one. I'm going to go down in there, and I don't know that I've ever used this bronzer. I think I obviously got it free from, you know, like I think I got it as like a sample or whatever from Sephora. But, ooh, that's pretty. That is a beautiful bronzer. Now, do I think it's like anything super, super special and anything different than what I have? Probably not, but I like the shade of this. So far, so good. Now, you guys know I already love this, so we're just gonna go in. I'm gonna use my Morphe E4. I love this blush. It's so pretty. I took another one on vacation with me. I only took 2 blush shades on vacation for 3 weeks in Florida. It was like 3.5 weeks we were there. And I loved this blush. I knew it was that type of blush where it was small to travel with, but I knew that I only needed this one and another shade, and I would totally be fine the entire 3.5 weeks, and I was, because it is a beautiful shade of blush. I love this shade. I also have it in the Lippy and in the shade Orgasm, and later on I will swatch it for you because it is really, really pretty. It's one of my favorites. Now that we have that done, now I don't have a highlighter in Nars. For my highlighter, I'm gonna grab this from Dose of Colors. This is from the Desi X Katie collection. This is in the shade Fuego. Oh, it's so pretty. I love Fuego. Fuego is one of my favorites. I'm gonna go ahead and put on my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette because I can't do my makeup without it, you guys. I can't. I'm gonna use my Luxie 514 brush, and I just go all through the lighting palette, and I just kind of go over my entire face. It's like a nice subtle highlighter for the face. For setting spray, I'm gonna use the LC Hydra Enhancer. This is really not setting spray, but it'll just kind of give me a little bit of something to the skin. And while that's wet, I'm gonna go ahead and grab that highlighter brush, and I'm gonna go in with the Anastasia Beverly Hills Enriched, and I just like to pop this over top while my skin's wet. But this just came back for a limited time. If you guys have not got the Enriched, oh, you guys have got to get it. It's so good. For eyeshadow, I grabbed this palette. This is the Nars Ignited palette. Now, I didn't buy their palette last year, but when I seen this one, I just needed it. Oh my gosh, those shades are so pretty. And don't get me wrong, I of course have these shades in other palettes, but the one reason why I wanted to buy this palette is I've never used a Nars eyeshadow. It's not a brand that I have a ton of products in my collection, and I'm really excited to try this. Now, it looks like it has 3 matte shades right here, and then you have all these shimmer shades to play with. And I think that's nice because the 3 matte shades that are in the palette are the right undertones for these shades. So this palette's pretty much gonna have to wow me in order for it to justify the $59 price tag. I gotta wash my brushes this weekend, and I pretty much dirtied up every brush I got using the Jeffree Star Alien palette, doing those technically 3 looks with. And his shadows are so pigmented that some of them I really need to just go in and clean them out. So I'm going to be using different brushes than you normally see me use, but I'm going to take this Morphe. This is the R35 brush. So I'm going to go into this top shade right here. I'm just going to start kind of placing this in the crease, but it doesn't really have a lot of pigment. It's probably just to kind of set down your concealer and give you a little bit of color. Let's go into this shade right here. And I don't think I've used this brush before, so I might have to switch this brush because I'm not really like feeling it. Yeah, I'm not feeling that brush. I can't get it to like move around. Maybe this one would work. I'm going to use this one. This is the Y15 brush from Morphe. And I'm just gonna, ooh, that shadow is pigmented. But I am struggling with these brushes. Like, I'm not going to be able to use those brushes. Let me find a clean M506. I think this one's clean. So I'm going to grab my M506 and just kind of smooth that out. It's hard for me to use those big fat brushes in my crease. So far, this is blending good. I might just put it all over the lid. I'm just going to take my big fat fluffy brush. This is my M504 and kind of blend that out. Okay, I'm going to go over it with the warm shade at the bottom, this one right here, and just kind of try to deepen the crease a little bit. But I think with this palette, is supposed to be like, I think the, you know, shimmer shades and stuff are probably the stars of the show. So I gotta decide what shadow I'm going to use because I don't know which one I want to use. All of the shadows in this palette I think would go really good with the base that I have on right now. And they're blending good. Like, you know, like I said, this is the first time I've used a Nars palette, and so far, so good. Now, do I think that they are like Pat McGrath quality? No, I mean, come on. But this is good quality. So these right here feel like they're shimmers to me. Like when I swatch them, they feel like they have like a shimmer formula. But then this one right here kind of feels like it has a glitter and shimmer formula combined. So that's what it looks like. It's actually really smooth as well. So it looks like these are more of like a glitter type formula. This feels like it's a more shimmer. This one at the bottom is probably like a shimmer with a mix of glitter. But like this one right here feels like it's a topper. So it's probably something to kind of give you more of a wet effect. Like if you put it over top of something. My felt tip applicator from Huda Beauty is a mess from the green in my Jeffree Star video. So I'm going to go ahead and use my felt tip applicator from Too Faced. And I'm going to go into this middle shade right here. And I'm just going to kind of apply this all over the lid. Right away, I feel like this shadow is very smooth going on. It wants to apply really easy. And it's really pretty. So I'm going to kind of like fill it in and kind of bring it up into my crease. What I like about it is it's very smooth and very easy to use. So I think I want to go into this top pink shade right here and kind of just grab some with my finger. Now this is the one that I kind of felt like probably would get some fallout. So I'm going to kind of tap this right here in the middle and just kind of be careful with it. And kind of give me a little bit of that extra pop right there in the center. I'm going to go back to my M506. I'm going to mix between these two shades and just kind of mix them together. And then I'm going to kind of deepen up the crease a little bit. Now I'm going to go into the top shade, okay? And I've wiped the brush off, and I'm going to kind of feather that over top of this crease right here. I'm going to go into this shade because this pink didn't really give me the pop that I was wanting. So I'm going to go into this shade right here with my finger. And, oh yeah, that's better. For the lower lash line, I'm going to bring this right here. I'm going to take my Morphe E36 brush and I'm going to bring this along the lower lash line. I'm going to grab this warm brown and kind of buff that in. Now, I didn't get any fallout. I'm kind of impressed. Like, I was trying to kind of wait for it to happen, but I really didn't get any fallout. But I was very careful with it, so that could be, you know, maybe why I didn't get a lot. So I'm going to take this brush from the Morphe Jaclyn Hill collection. This is the JH42, and I'm going to go into this shade right here, and I'm just going to go in dry, and I'm going to pop this right up here. Ooh, that shade is just subtle but gorgeous. So then I'm going to take this brush from the Morphe Jaclyn Hill collection. This is the JH39. And I'm going to go into that shade dry. And I'm going to pop this on my inner corner. Ooh, she's pretty. It has that really pretty pink undertone. But see, sometimes I don't like pink undertone in the inner corner. But this one is not so pink that it's not like overtaking it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a right amount of pink to give that pop of color, but without being like this pink inner corner. I just went ahead and added a liner. This is from Sephora. This is their retractable liner in waterproof. This is in the shade Matte Brown. So I've heard a lot of people say that they really like these. So I just got this a couple days ago, so I'm still kind of playing around with it. But I went ahead and added it up here and on my lower rim. And then I am actually going to put an eyelash primer on. So this one is from Dior. And I'm just going to prime these eyelashes because I do have a Nars mascara. I think it's called the Climax. I just got the sample one from Sephora. The brush is kind of big on it, so that's another thing that I struggle with. I have small lashes. When I have a brush that's really big, it's kind of hard for me to use. But let me say this, I think this mascara is a good mascara. I don't think it does anything like too spectacular with your eyelashes. If you guys have it and you love it, then more power to you because, you know, we all have different lashes and certain mascaras that work for us, certain mascaras don't. I mean, it just is what it is. I'm going to put these on from Lily Lash. These are now sold out, which is kind of a bummer, but these are in the style Boston. These were her premium eyelashes for $11.99, and I stocked up and bought a shiz ton of them, so you'll be seeing me wear them quite a bit. I mean, I still love my House of Lashes, and my Iconic Lights are like my go-to favorite lash, but for now, I'm gonna stick with these. Go ahead and try this mascara on the lower lash line. See how it works. And I will definitely let you know when I'm editing if it gave me raccoon eyes, because you know, that's the one thing that I hate about testing out new mascara on the lower lash line is I don't like raccoon eyes. I hate it when it transfers down below. That drives me batty. I just think the brush is too big for the lower lash line. I think that's the only thing that I'm really struggling with is just the brush. Done the job, but I don't know that I love the way that looks. Let's move on to lippies. I have a larger size of Orgasm, but I think it's upstairs somewhere. So I have the smaller like travel mini size. I love this shade and I wore this all summer long. It just has that perfect like pink peach undertone, just like the blush. And during the summer when I wasn't wearing a lot of makeup, I would put a little bit of that Orgasm blush on my cheeks and put this on the lip. And oh my gosh, it was so pretty because they match and they complement each other so good. But that is what Orgasm looks like. And then I have this one, which is called Morocco. This is in the full size. So that is Morocco, which I really think Morocco is super pretty. This is the retractable like magnetic lid one, which I kind of really like the packaging of. This one is in the shade Anita. So that is what Anita looks like. It's kind of got that nice like purple undertone to it. Then I have this, which is a mini size, which I'm really loving this. When I tried this for the first time, I fell in love with the formula, but I keep forgetting to buy shades that I want in this formula, but this is their Velvet Lip Glide. This is in the shade Bound. That is what the shade Bound looks like. And I remember wearing this one day and it lasted for hours. It was just really, really pretty. So those are the shades of lippies that I have in my arsenal here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my lips. This is the Makeup Forever Artist color pencil. This is in the shade Wherever Walnut. I have such small lips. Sometimes my lipsticks will bleed, so adding a lip liner helps with that. I think I'm gonna go in with Morocco. I don't know. We're gonna see how that will look with this, like with my shirt and the eye look, because I could truthfully wear any of those shades, but I'm gonna go in with Morocco first. And then I think I'm gonna put Orgasm over top of it. I love it. I love these two together. And you guys, that Orgasm, it is so pretty. It is definitely one of my favorite lip shades. And I really think these are all really, really pretty shades. Let me go through and give you guys my final thoughts. Now, you guys know that I hadn't used the foundation in a while, but let me just say, you're gonna see me using this foundation more because this looks so beautiful on my skin. I love the way this foundation looks. I love that it's full coverage. And I feel like it just gives my skin that radiant look without being heavy. I like this foundation. I've been stupid not to be using it. I should have included this in my favorites foundation video because that was stupid of me. You're gonna see me use this because this is good. Let's talk about the concealer. All right, I like the way my under eyes look. I did have to keep going in and kind of picking up the extra product throughout my makeup, right there on those creases. But once I picked up the remaining of the product, so I think this might be a product for me anyway, where a little bit goes a long way. You have concealer that gets kind of really, really creasy and it kind of sits in those creases. It's because you put too much on. So I think what I'm gonna do is use less, because now that I've kept wiping it throughout doing my makeup, it's gone now, and I think it's very, very pretty. I'm really impressed with the concealer. I really like this. I might have to buy the full size of this because this is really pretty. As far as the blush and the bronzer, I like the bronzer. I don't know if it's worth buying the full size just because, I don't know. I mean, it's pretty. I think it looked really pretty, but I don't know that it's like, you know, revolutionary. But this one, I would say, is one of my favorite, like I said, and it is definitely worth buying a full size. There's something about this shade Orgasm that I just love. It's got that pinky peach undertone to it. If you guys like a peach blush and you like the pink in it, this is like the perfect blush. And it is highly raved about from several people. Love this, and there's a reason, because it is really, really good. Okay, so let's get into the palette. Now, I don't know if I showed you guys this or not. I was kind of in a hurry when I grabbed it out. But the palette comes in this little black carton type thing, like this, okay? And then it was just slipped down inside the box that pretty much matches the actual palette itself. This is what the palette looks like. It's kind of small, really travel friendly, which I kind of like that. Even with those 3 matte shades, it's definitely a travel friendly palette because you can create several looks with it, and these shadows are really, really pretty. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and show you the swatches, and then I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts on the palette. So here are the swatches. Now again, I'm not the best swatcher, you guys. I try, but I'm just not the best. This is just an overall beautiful palette with all these different like pinks. You got your purples, but you also have those pretty taupe shades that you need in the palette. So this is the shade that I put all over my lid. And I kind of popped like these two over top of it to kind of bring it out. But I could definitely create some really, really pretty looks with this palette. I mean, it's a really, really pretty palette. I'm really impressed with the pigmentation. And like I said, this being my first Nars palette that I've ever used, these matte shades, man, I mean, these were like one swatch and they're just really pigmented. And I really like them. I think the thing that I liked about this palette the most, I'm going to be honest, once I switched my brushes, the matte shades was no effort. When I went off camera and created this, I probably did it in like less than 2 minutes. I went ahead and popped those colors on the crease, mixed them together, popped it in there, put some color on the lid, and I was good to go. The matte shades in this palette are like little to no effort. What I will say is when I was swatching this shade right here, it felt a little bit patchy. So if you're gonna put that on your lid, just know that it might go on a little bit patchy and you might have to kind of fill it in certain spots. But I like this palette. The thing that I don't like about the palette is the $59 price tag. I don't think this palette is worth $59. $59 is a lot of money for an eyeshadow palette. Don't get me wrong, I think the quality is there. but I don't think there's enough shades to make this worth $59. I would probably grab the nude palette instead. There are some similar shades in this palette, and you get a lot more shadows in here than you do in this palette. I think the only thing that the new nude palette is missing from Huda Beauty is, it's kind of hard to like go back and forth, is this warm brown shade right here. So that was the one thing that I was kind of bummed out about this palette, is that I felt like I was okay with it having like all the pinks and the purples, but I felt like I needed one shade that was a equal, just a normal matte brown. And this one has more of like a pink undertone, so when you blend it out, it kind of goes like that pinky shade. So I think this palette was missing this shade. Overall, I think you would be better off spending your money on this one and skipping this one. But that's my opinion. If you guys love Nars and you're all about the Nars deal, I mean, you do whatever you want to do, because here's the thing. If you love Nars and you love Nars eyeshadows, this palette is small, because I mean, this palette is kind of larger. It's a larger palette. Let me show you what the comparisons are on the size. So there's the comparison on the sides. So, you know, if you're like, hey, I'm an easy girl, I just want something easy, but I love those shades, it's small, I love Nars, I'm okay with paying the price, then you will not be disappointed, and I will probably be using this palette quite a bit. But the $59 price tag is so high that I'm kind of like, yeah, I don't know that it's worth it. It's kind of pricey. It really is. It's pretty pricey for what it is. You guys work hard for your money and you spend it however you want. But that's just my opinion on it. But if it is something that you're okay with spending your money on, it's a beautiful palette. It really is. So while I was off camera, I went ahead and ordered 2 lippies. So I'm excited about that. I will probably be using them in an upcoming video because I do really like the formula of these. But this Orgasm shade, oh, I'm in love with it. It's got a little bit of a shimmer, but it's very complimentary. I love it. Like I said about the mascara, you guys have to make that decision, but I don't like how the wand is so big, but I don't feel like that the product is like revolutionary or of any way, but again, you know, it's always nice to be able to try those mini sizes out before you actually spend the money on a larger size. That is what I have for you guys today. Now, this wasn't a full face of Nars, but it was pretty dang close. If you guys want to see more videos of me doing a full face of one brand, let me know by liking the video. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and don't forget to come right back here tomorrow because I'm going to be uploading again. I'm officially uploading every single day, so I'm really excited about it. If you missed yesterday's video, I will go ahead and link it up here in the iCards. I actually have a huge giveaway going on. It's to celebrate my year anniversary being here on YouTube, and it's also to celebrate me uploading every single day. So right after this, go ahead and head over there if you have not already seen that video and enter that giveaway. I'm very excited about it. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you guys have a fantastic week filled with love, happiness, and joy. I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys so much. Bye.